In the race toward a cleaner electric future, one nation is quietly but decisively making its move. A place where ancient temples stand in the shadows of robotic factories, where innovation is not just a business goal, it's a cultural value. That nation is Japan. Over the past decade, the electric vehicle revolution has accelerated across the globe. The stakes? Nothing less than the future of transportation, energy, and industry itself. And at the heart of it all lies the beating heart of every EV, the battery. These aren't just power cells, they are the currency of mobility, the deciding factor between dominance and obsolescence in the automotive world. And in this global contest, Japan is mobilizing its industry, its scientists, and its policymakers to reclaim a title it once held proudly, the leader in battery technology. This is the story of Japan's electric vehicle battery race, a complex dance between innovation and ambition, science and strategy, past glory and future promise. To understand Japan's position today, we have to rewind to the 1990s and early 2000s. Back then, Japan wasn't just participating in the battery sector, it was defining it. When Toyota introduced the Prius in 1997, powered by nickel metal hydride batteries, the automotive world took notice. Suddenly, hybrid vehicles weren't just experimental, they were commercially viable. Japanese engineers and chemists pioneered not only NIMH chemistry, but also early lithium-ion applications in consumer electronics. Sony, for instance, was the first company to commercialize the lithium-ion battery in 1991, an innovation that would later become the foundation for modern EVs. For a time, Japan dominated the world battery market. Laptops, cameras, early mobile phones, most were powered by Japanese cells. But as the years passed, competition heated up. South Korea and China began scaling production at lightning speed. While Japan focused on incremental improvements, others raced ahead in cost-cutting and mass production for EVs. By the mid-2010s, Japan's once unchallenged lead had narrowed and then slipped. But the story was far from over. Japan's resurgence is being driven by a coalition of powerful players, each with its own stake in the race. On the automaker front, Toyota leads the charge. Known for its cautious but deliberate approach, Toyota has been investing heavily in solid-state battery research, promising a leap forward in range and charging times. Honda and Nissan are also deep in the fight, working to integrate next-generation cells into their upcoming EV fleets. On the battery manufacturing side, Panasonic remains a global heavyweight, supplying cells for Tesla and investing billions into advanced production lines. GS Yuasa, known for its aerospace and automotive batteries, is pursuing high-performance chemistries for both domestic and export markets. Then there are the partnerships. Japan understands that in this race, collaboration is key. Joint ventures with American, European, and Southeast Asian firms are helping secure resources, share R&D costs, and expand manufacturing footprints. And behind the scenes, the Japanese government is quietly but powerfully involved. Subsidies, tax incentives, and research grants are aligning industry goals with national priorities. The aim is clear: secure Japan's energy independence while regaining technological leadership. If there's one word that sums up Japan's battery strategy, it's breakthrough. Foremost among these is solid-state battery technology, a long-promised evolution that replaces flammable liquid electrolytes with a solid material. The benefits? Dramatically higher energy density, meaning longer ranges, faster charging, minutes, not hours, and greater safety, since solid electrolytes reduce fire risk. Toyota has unveiled prototypes with ranges exceeding 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. Nissan and Honda are pursuing similar goals, with targets to commercialize solid-state by the late 2020s. But that's not all. Japanese researchers are experimenting with silicon anodes, which can store far more lithium ions than traditional graphite. They're working on next-generation electrolytes resistant to degradation, cobalt-free chemistries to cut costs and environmental impact, and ultra-precise manufacturing processes that improve consistency and performance. What's striking is the cultural aspect. Japan's engineering philosophy prizes durability and precision. The goal isn't just to make a battery that works, but one that works for decades, in extreme climates, with minimal performance loss. These innovations aren't just lab dreams. Pilot production lines are already humming as the industry inches closer to scaling these technologies for millions of cars. Technology alone isn't enough. You need the raw materials, the markets, and the political alliances to make it work. Japan, an island nation with limited natural resources, is aggressively securing supply lines. Through government-backed deals, Japanese companies have invested in lithium mining in Chile and Argentina, nickel extraction in Indonesia, and rare earth processing in Australia. On the market side, Japan is targeting both domestic EV adoption and overseas sales. Southeast Asia is a particular focus. Markets like Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines are eager for affordable, reliable EV technology, and Japan's reputation for quality gives it a strong advantage. International partnerships are expanding manufacturing footprints. Panasonic's collaboration with Tesla in the US, Toyota's work with European firms, and multiple joint ventures in India show that Japan is thinking globally. This isn't just about selling cars. It's about shaping the future global standards for batteries and EV safety. And if Japan can set the standard, it can control the rules of the game.
But for all the optimism, the path is far from smooth. Competition is fierce. Chinese giants like CATL and BYD dominate global production, thanks to massive government subsidies and rapid scaling. South Korean players like LG Energy Solution and SK On are aggressively expanding in Europe and the US. Supply chains remain vulnerable. Securing raw materials is costly and politically sensitive, especially as resource-rich nations grow more protective of their assets. Environmental concerns over mining practices add another layer of complexity. Then there's the challenge of cost. Solid-state batteries are still significantly more expensive than conventional lithium-ion, and bringing prices down will require years of investment and mass production learning curves. And finally, time. The EV transition is happening now. If Japan can't commercialize its breakthroughs quickly enough, it risks falling behind before it even reaches the starting line.
So, where does this all lead? If Japan succeeds in scaling solid-state technology by the late 2020s, it could redefine what drivers expect from an electric vehicle. Longer range than gasoline cars, lightning-fast charging, and unmatched safety. Such a leap would not only boost Japan's auto industry, but also ripple across global supply chains, from mining to recycling. It could set new international safety and performance standards, giving Japan leverage in trade and technology diplomacy. But if delays, costs, or global rivals outpace them, Japan could remain a high-tech niche player in a market dominated by others. For now, one thing is certain. Japan is back in the battery race, and the world is watching closely. The outcome will shape not just the cars we drive, but the very way our societies move, trade, and connect in the decades to come.